It's time to cook with Susan Beck, and I've been out in my garden picking lots of green beans, cucumbers, garlic, dill, and as you can see, that's not all. I've got piles of green beans and pickles back here on my counter. Well, last year I showed you how to make my favorite dill pickles, crisp dill pickles. We love them whole, but it depends on the size of my pickles. You can watch my video on how to make those. And I'll now be posting how to make dilly beans. Now it's best to pick everything fresh, but sometimes it's hard to have enough quantity to be able to pickle and make it worthwhile to do your canning. So I love these Debbie Meyer green bags, and they come in lots of sizes. This is a giant one that would hold lots of green beans. But anyway, that is a great way to store your vegetables in your refrigerator. You just fold down the tops, and I don't know, there's something that's breathable about these bags that lets the gases out that would cause your vegetables and your fruits to rot a little quicker. So Debbie Meyer green bags, great invention to help you keep your produce nice and fresh. All right, so today we are going to focus on the dilly beans. You can pickle anything. Gee, my grandma even used to pickle watermelon rinds and make watermelon pickles. Crazy. All right, first thing I'm gonna do is a little bit of prep work. So this is gonna be a hot water bath, which makes it nice and simple. So if you have not done a lot of canning, starting with things like jams and pickling beans and cucumbers is a great way to get started. You do not need a pressure cooker, just a big soup kettle. I've got a steel pot, a stainless steel pot that's got a flat bottom. Flat bottoms are helpful. It's got to be deep enough that when I put my jars in, I can cover them with water. I'm going to be using the pint jars today, so I wouldn't need this big a pot, but I have it. So because I'm not canning it with a pressure cooker, you don't need the little wobbly thing here. I will use my great tongs. These are fantastic for getting the jars in and out, but I won't need those yet. So whatever pot you're using, let's fill this with enough water that it will cover our jars. So I filled my pot to the level I think needed to cover my pint jars by 1/2 inch. I'm going to put this on my biggest burner and set it to high so that it's boiling. Add a lid and it'll boil faster. So some other things to get ready. I am going to need 4 of these rings as well as 4 of the actual canning tops. These sit inside the ring and twist onto the jars. My jars are in the dishwasher. Should mention this. A couple hours ago, I got my jars going in the dishwasher so that they get sanitized and they're nice and hot and clean and warm. So as my dishwasher is ending its cycle of drying, that's when I'm ready to start this process. Okay, I have a small pan with maybe like 1 inch of water in there. And I am going to put these 4 lids from my 4 pints of dilly beans into that water. I'm not going to heat that up yet, but I'll set it here on the stove. Okay, that will get heated when we're ready to seal our jars, but they don't really need to get started yet. That just takes a couple of minutes. All right, we'll set our rings off to the side as well. Okay, we are also going to need to make a brine today. Our brine is going to have 2 cups of white vinegar is what I have here today, but you could use apple cider vinegar if you wanted to. Doesn't really make a whole lot of difference. I also have measured out 2 cups of water. And then into that is going to go our salt. This is our brine for our dilly beans. I am using this canning and pickling salt. This is pure NaCl, or sodium chloride. There's no iodine added like most of our table salts, and there's no anti-caking agent, which I can tell because it's I got to kind of like beat it around to get it loosened up there a little bit. I'm going to put 2 teaspoons of this into my water, and it's got very fine crystals compared to the kosher salt or the table salt, which helps it to dissolve in our brine more quickly And because it doesn't have the iodine or any caking agents or anything added, it keeps the brine clear. Now, there's nothing wrong if your brine is a little, cloudy or something and you use a different salt. Perfectly okay. But if you are going to do a fair amount of canning, I would recommend investing in a box of canning and pickling salt. Now, besides the beans, we have other things to go into these jars. We are going to be putting in a sprig of our dill. These big flowery parts work great. If you do not have these, you can put in a teaspoon of dill weed or dill seed into each of them as well. All right, so in that one goes. That one's kind of smaller. I'm going to go with some of the bigger ones here. It's got a long stem. I'm going to break that off. Okay, in goes our dill. We're also going to put in a 1/4 teaspoon of red pepper flakes. It gives it a little bit of kick. This could be optional. You would not have to put in the red pepper flakes. And then we're going to put in some garlic. So my husband just dug all the garlic bulbs this week. And they're not super dry, so it doesn't pop apart quite as easily as they will in another month or so after they sit for a while. There we go. All right, we are going to put 1 entire clove in each of these jars. Oh my goodness, we grow the biggest garlic bulbs. Actually, I think I'm going to just use these 2 are gigantic, and I'm going to cut them in half and put half of one in. But if you're buying your garlic at the store, you're probably going to want a whole garlic. Right, I've got some root end to get off of there. And again, because they're not quite dry yet. Oh, it's actually peeling off pretty well though. I want to get that papery part off of there. I see I've got a spot that's not so nice. I'm going to remove that. Okay, peeling off that wrapper again. Okay, as I mentioned, these are gigantic. So we're just going to cut those in half. I don't think I need that much in a pint jar. That would be perfect for a quart jar. You could make these in quarts as well. You could double this recipe as well. I'd probably just make as many jars as will fit in your big pot. Now it's time to get our green beans ready. Now I've been sorting through my beans, and I don't like beans that have that actual bean part starting to show. Oh, now that one's okay. That one's not bad, but these, don't like them. Here's another one I don't care for. I want nice, thin green beans. I don't know. I'm kind of picky about that. I'll feed them to my chickens if they're not ones that I find to my liking. So I'm going to just turn these and chop off the end that was attached to the plant. If you didn't know, it's perfectly fine to eat the bottom of the bean. You can cut it off if that bothers you, but I leave it on. I learned that years and years ago when I used to watch Martha Stewart videos all the time, that she said no need to waste the top of that. The only part you need to get rid of is the top. So I'm just going to sort through and pick out all my best beans and continue chopping off those tops. So here are some of those nice thin beans that I really like. I'm just going to cut those little ends off. Here are some of those green beans I don't care for, where they're starting to get really fat and kind of bumpy where all that interior bean is. I'm going to continue chopping away until I have enough beans to fill all 4 pint jars. I grew up helping my mom in the garden, but I've definitely expanded my repertoire of things that I can. And one thing that I have learned that I was not really aware of so much when I was a kid helping out, but over my 20 plus years of gardening out here in the countryside of Wisconsin, is that things are better picked small, whether it's your zucchini or your green beans or your cucumbers. Get them while they are on the smaller side. Now that my beans are ready to be put into the jars, it's the perfect time to heat up that vinegar, salt, and water. I want to bring it to a boil. So the quickest way to do that is high heat with a lid on. All right, let's go fill those jars. I find it's easiest to have the clove of garlic and your dill already down in the jars. Then our goal is to pack in as many green beans as we can. So I'm going to start off by just kind of making a fistful and fitting them down in there. We'll push those taller ones down and let them bend over a little bit. But I want to have as many as will fit. I think I can get a few more down in the center there. There's our first jar. All right, time for our next jar. Oops, there's a top I missed. Break that off. Like I said, I think making a fistful to start with and trying to get as many down in there at once is the easiest way. I dropped one back there. All right, down they go. All right, I think I did a better job this time of getting it filled to start with. Again, kind of a tall one there. Oops, here's one that needs to tip. But I can just kind of bend them over and push a little bit. All right, that's probably about all I can get into that jar. I have one jar left to fill, and then I need to put my rings on the top. So this would be a great time to take that little pan that has all your canning lids in it. I've got 4, and put this on the stove to simmer. We just want to get that little rubber ring that's on there to soften up again. It's just a way to, like, a little extra precaution to make sure that your jars actually seal. All right, off to the stove with this. Wow, the timing on this is perfect. I can smell the vinegar in my brine, and my lids are over here in some simmering water. I'll leave those be. It's time to take that brine and put it on our beans. I don't want to pour this directly into the jars. It'll just be too hard to do. So I'm going to put it into a measuring cup that has a nice pour spout. Now, some of those beans are popping up. I'm either going to need to take them out or put them down in the water again. All right, here we go. All right, like I said, I don't want to burn myself on that, but I either need to get those beans down in or out of this jar. So I do want to cover them all. All right, I think we'll be okay there. Keeping them in. I got a few floaters over here as well, but we'll be good. You don't have quite enough brine, just add another half cup of water and vinegar to your pot, because I just realized that one there, once it's settled, doesn't really have enough. I think this one here could use a little bit more too. So it's not that hard to boil up a little more vinegar, water, and salt. Half a cup of each plus a 1/4 teaspoon of salt is all I needed to finish my jar. Remember, these canning lids were heated in some water until they kind of simmered. So they are hot. So I like to use a little tongs to lift them out of here. Now there's 2 caught together there. And place those on the top of my jars. Now be careful if they stick together, because sometimes there's a little bit of a water bubble in there. Yep. Okay, so that you don't burn yourself. Then these rings go on. I usually try to put them on as tightly as I can. And then I go back through and tighten them one more time, because it seems like after they're on there for a moment, they will somehow require just a little more. Yep, I can usually get another little. That one's pretty good. All right, so is that one. Okay, these are going to go into our big container of water. And I know it's ready. I can hear it boiling back there. So this is called a hot water bath. And I just need to cover my lids. It is ready to go. Everything has timed perfectly. If you have to wait a little bit for something to finish, that's okay. But hopefully through this video, I have given you some tips to make everything come together in the perfect order. Now this is where these canning tongs are just so valuable. I just love this invention. I can put my jar right in there, and I don't have to be over here going, oh no, oh no, oh no, it's getting hot. I don't want to touch the water. You can use regular tongs, but they're just not quite as safe. So I would suggest these type of tongs. If you don't have these, one solution might be to boil your water and get it hot over in another pot, and then get your jar standing in there and pour it over. Okay, we're gonna let those process. I have about a half an inch of water over the top of those canning rings. I want to get this back to a boil and then I will begin timing it. I will do a hot water bath for 5 minutes since I am using pints. If I had quarts, I would do a 10-minute water bath. I'm just going to place this lid on top because things come to a boil faster. So my timer just went off, so I'm going to remove this lid that was keeping our water nice and hot and boiling. And then again, these tongs are fantastic as they just fit around the jar. Let it drip off a little, and then I set it over here. And there we have 4 beautiful jars of dilly beans. Now these jars need to sit and cool. There is going to be a little pop where there's like a little button almost in the center. You can see it best on this one. That must go down. If you can pop it, like make it make noise by hitting the top of it, it has not sealed. If it doesn't seal, the beans are still okay. You're just going to need to store them in the refrigerator. One last tip. I know you want to try these right away, but they really need a month sitting with the dill and the garlic to truly take on a great flavor. And be sure to check out my recipe for crisp dill pickles using the same water bath technique. Visit Time to Cook with Susan Beck for more great recipes and kitchen tips, including pickled beets and strawberry jam.